What's up guys, Doomsday here. Today we're back again. In this video, we're going to be playing some Braum support. Lately I've been playing quite a decent amount of Braum, and I've been having a lot of fun playing him. So I actually picked up Braum not too long ago. I'm telling you, he's a very entertaining champ. Even though he is support, he's a lot of fun to play. Just because he's so unique from other champs, and you can actually make some crazy plays on him. But when I first picked up Braum, at first I was kind of struggling with him just because, again, he is a very different champ than other supports. So he felt a bit weird at first, but then I started talking to some analysts and pro players that are at the top of the competition and coaches and stuff, and they give me some really good pointers. And once you pick up the basics of Braum, you realize he becomes so much fun, and you could just do so much with him. So in this match, I'm laning with the Jinx, and we're laning up against a Pantheon and Varus. So to start off with at level 1, pretty much all you could do is poke with your first ability. Just trying to find a good angle. Notice how whenever I'm using my first ability, I'm trying to walk off to the side so these minions don't get in the way. So now I'm level 2 and I have my shield, and I'm looking for a bit of poke, but they actually go for hard engage, and this is the key to Braum, using your perk right. That was the biggest tip I was given and shown how to do. If you use your perk right, you can literally just dominate the lane phase. But a lot of people, they don't utilize the perk, and that's what screws them over, because then they can't do as much in the lane phase. So let me just pretty much talk about what happened. First of all, with Braum, a lot of people think you have to play super passive just because you don't have a hard engage like support like Rakan or Alistar who could just dive right in. But with your shield, notice how when I got level 3 and I used my shield, it just zones out the enemy completely. Like you'll see later on too, how when I use my shield, they're forced to back up so much. Like the Varus just has to completely back up, and it gives us so much of a positioning advantage. So you can play aggro on Braum, and that makes it really easy to land your first ability too. Plus with the Font of Life for the rune, your teammate heals up, so that's not even like you don't have any sustainability. So notice how over here I'm using my shield, and I'm just forcing him to back up. I'm auto-attacking and then just forcing him back. And again, notice how we're trying to utilize my perk here. So I'm going to talk about the... Oh, and another thing I want to touch up on is the reason why I wasn't too worried about extending that much is because their jungler is Mundo, and if Mundo ganks, I could just body block the axe thing that he throws, or I don't remember what it's called. It might be axe. So I wasn't too worried about a gank. If we're playing against somebody like Lee Sin, we would not want to be overextending like this, because that can come back to bite us pretty badly. So over here, notice how he's utilizing that perk. He's getting that stun off. Now again, Mundo, see, it's a Mundo. I could just body block anything if I need to. Nothing too much to worry about. So going back to that first engage when Pantheon engaged, when somebody engages onto you, your goal is to keep your ADC healthy. That is the goal. So what I did was, first of all, that Pantheon, he has a really good hard engage. He could literally just dive right on top of you and stun you up, or the ADC. And over here, actually, I just give the Vi shield because I know, or the buff, because I know they're about to dive in. And I was actually, I think I pinged retreat or something because I was worried that they were going to get rooted up, but they accidentally rooted me for some reason. If they would have rooted the Vi, then they might have actually been able to live that. So that was actually quite a bit of a risky dive. But as I was saying, when that Pantheon dives in, you want to make use of that perk. If you want, you can go back and watch that first engage. Notice what I did. Right when that Pantheon engaged, first what you want to do is land a first ability or auto attack. What that does is that puts your perk onto the Pantheon. And the reason why that's key is when a support engages onto your ADC like that, they're just naturally going to start to change their focus to that support that engages onto them. So it's going to be very easy for that Jinx to get 2 or 3 auto attacks on that Pantheon, which is going to make it really easy to get that stun. And Pantheon, he doesn't have a good disengage. Once he engages, he's just going to have to walk back out. And if you can stun him on that way out, you can poke him down so much. And after that, what you need to do is you need to go in front of your ADC and use your third ability. What that does is it pretty much prevents the Varus from attacking your ADC, because you pretty much just body block everything and you get right in their face. So again, if you didn't notice, just go back and watch that first engage over. That's really the entire key to it. And then if you can, get an auto attack or land a first ability on the ADC too. That way you have your perk going on both the support and on the ADC. And actually notice what I did there. I hung in the back because I knew that they were looking for a dive. It was pretty obvious that Pantheon was playing, he had a pretty aggro position. So I stood in the back where they didn't have vision of me, And then right when they went for that engage in, I just dive right out and then ulti. And they pretty much can't do anything. And over there, that Pantheon just goes right back in. That was a bit of a ballsy play, but with my perk and everything, it all works out. So over here now, I'm just body blocking, forcing this Varus back, making it easy for our Jinx to farm. Trying to land my first ability, poke him down a bit. And now I'm like, we should probably just dip out, get a good shop in. So again, that's pretty much just the key. Block off any damage that your ADC is going to take from their ADC, and then make it so they can stun up the whoever's going for the engage. This works not only against like Pantheon, but against like a champ like Alistar. It's the exact same thing. Alistar dives in, goes for his combo, you auto attack him or land that first ability, and then you jump in front of him and you use that third ability, and just you let your ADC poke at whoever's going for the engage. So over here, their mid laner actually went for a pretty deep dive, so we're able to have positioning advantage for this. And over here, I'm just watching out. I don't want anybody to go for steal. And I just ult this because I don't trust junglers, honestly, with their smiting. So yeah, I just ulti there just to make sure that nobody got that steal on that. So now our Vi is actually going towards the Herald. They're actually on Herald right now. They traded the Herald for the Dragon, and I think that's fine for us. So here now again, we're just poking him down, trying to push him back. And again, we can play aggro. Mundo's on the bot side of the map, not too worried about a gank. And look at this, we're just trying to get this perk off. And boom, they just completely the Jinx ult. And over now, I actually want to dive this. So I'm like, okay, let's do this. I get my auto attack off, I get the perk. So now 1, 2, 3, and then boom, they just get stunned up, and that's the entire key to Braum pretty much in the lane phase. So over here, I actually took some kills. I have 3 kills as a support, which is fine. Of course, if you need to secure kills, secure the kills, but you don't want to be taking kills from your ADC because gold on ADC is definitely more valuable than gold on you. So now the mid laner's trying to get this turret. Again, I just get my first ability to get the perk off, and then boom, look at that stun. It's such a hard escape after that. And they're just dead. Now I'm on my way back to top side. And that's really a key, not only in the lane phase, but also in team fights. Just land one auto attack or first ability on as many enemies as you can. And over here, I'm lagging quite a bit. So again, I'm just getting the auto attack onto the Pantheon. They get stunned up, and they actually got a super lucky flash, but I was able to barely clip the Varus. And I'm lagging quite a bit, like, my stuff is super delayed. As you can see, I was trying to flash, like, such a long time ago. Over here, I want to help him, but I sadly cannot. But this Jinx is popping off now. I got him a really good lead early. We completely scaled the lane. He does die over here, but it's alright. Happens. So going back to the Dragon versus Herald trade. That's actually, it ended up being an alright trade for him because they got first turret with the Herald and everything. And first turret is worth 1,000 gold, and that is a lot of gold. So getting that 1,000 gold, even if you don't get that first dragon, like, of course dragon buffs are good, but if you can't get it, then definitely be looking for something cross-map. So for example, when that dragon was up, they couldn't really contest just because their mid was pushed out, and they're I think we actually killed him, actually, there. Over here, this Varus is pretty extended. He wants that turret, I think. So I'm like, Vi, we could easily do this. I don't think he knew we were in their jungle. Oh, another thing I did was I set up vision around the dragon right when I knew that there was about to be a dragon fight. I just set up vision in the area because that's super helpful. Like, over there, I knew that there were enemies on the other side when we were doing that dragon, so I just ulted them. Luckily, their jungler wasn't there, so we didn't have to be worried about a smite battle. Over there, I'd make sure to give the kill to my jungler. And now I'm starting to roam more. Because once you do get your lead in your lane, you do want to start to roam more. Because just staying in the dragon lane the entire time, that's not the move. And over there, they kind of got a lucky flash away. And over here, I'm making sure to land that first ability or auto attack at least once. That way, it does set my perk on him so my allies can trigger it. And over here, now the dragon spawned. We actually killed their jungler, so I'm like, we should do this. The Vi recalled, which I kind of disagree with. Even if they had to shop, we would have been fine doing this. So now it's like, they're on their way back, but it's kind of too late. And I accidentally get stuck on that wall. I didn't see that there. Trying to get to my teammates. And over here, I'm just trying to zone this Garen out, just trying to CC him up. I'm telling you, Garen is still a complete monster. Like, look at that tank, man. And he's not even ahead of us. He's so tanky. There's literally, like, 4 of us just banging away at him, using everything we have. And it's still so hard. So now we just have to completely back off. I'm sitting over here, and I just choose to set up vision in the area because, again, I'm pretty sure that we're going to go for dragon sometime soon, or there's going to be a fight around here, so start to set up those cams. I'm watching out in case the Pantheon tries to engage or throw any spears or anything. And now I'm able to land a super good Braum ult there. I saw the Pantheon was going for the engage, and the type of way Braum is, you really need to land your ultimate, because with a lot of supports, your ultimate, it's a big ability. Like, the Braum ability, Alistar ult, things like that, Lulu ult, you can't be messing those up, because in teamfights, that's what makes you really strong too. So over here, I actually started walking that way. I was looking at the fight and I didn't realize that I was moving my joystick in the wrong direction, and I got kind of screwed over. That was kind of a silly way to die. But what was I saying? I was talking about... Oh, man. What was I talking about? Oh, I was talking about landing your ulti. It's really important to land it. Hit somebody. Of course, there are unfortunate timings where they might actually flash out of it, but you can't just straight up miss it if they're just standing there or they're just moving around. And over here, this is a bad decision from our teammates. Our jungler isn't even there, and they're going for the dragon. And it's a Dr. Mundo. Like, they can't kill the Dr. Mundo. The Mundo can just walk in there and smite it out. So that was bad on their part. They're able to get kills, which is fine, but... I mean, I guess it worked out fine because we did get kills. So now over here, I'm like, we're getting these kills, but we gotta get something out of it. We need to get this first mid turret at least. So over here now, I'm just poking him out, landing the slow. And that slow is pretty dirty. I think this is 70% slow if you land it. And over here, I just use my second ability to get close to the enemy, and then I just land the auto attack. That's pretty much it. So now I'm like, we should do Baron. We should at least force it. Even if we don't want to take it, just by starting it up, it puts some pressure on the enemy to contest. And a lot of times, they'll just misposition and contest. I didn't realize we had a AFK, actually. So that's why I was pinging that. And now, notice how I'm not just rushing my ult. Because if I rush it, then I screw it over, then that's a long cooldown for sure. And the reason why I didn't use that first is because they're all full health. Like, we're not going to kill a Garen, Dr. Mundo. They're easily going to be able to disengage, retreat to their turret, and it'll pretty much have been wasted. So I'm like, I'll just hold it. If we force this Baron, then they're going to overextend this far, and then I could use that ult, and they won't be able to really run as far. They won't be able to retreat as easily. So now over here, I'm just distracting the Mundo and Garen. And now that Garen, when they're super close to you, landing the ult, it's really easy. So if you can't get right in their face and then use the ult, that increases the odds that you land it so much more. So right now I'm helping my teammates if I can. I have my locket. I'm able to just zone off the Varus completely. Just pretty much get in his face, and I'm just landing my perk. Pretty much. I just poke him down so much as a support. No, I'm just keeping an eye in case anybody tries to go for steal or anything sneaky. So now my team wants to engage. And I'm like, we could definitely dive this. I just tank up a couple turret shots and then dip. And now we gotta get out of here quickly before somebody rotates on us. So now we get the shop and we got the reset. And we're looking pretty good. So looking at their comp, they have a really engage comp, which means that they're going to be riding our ADCs in my face, like the Garen, the Mundo, Aurelia. They're all going to be looking to dive onto our backline. So holding your ult until they do get onto your backline and then ulting them off, it's really easy to land, first of all, because one, you should be near your ADCs and you should be protecting them. And second of all, if they're close to you, then of course it's easier to land. So doing that instead of just rushing it is definitely the move. Unless, of course, over here I'm thinking about it because I'm like, if we can get a pick over here, we could probably end. So that's why I was looking at it. But I decided it probably wasn't worth it because, again, they have flash and everything up, so I was like, we could probably just chill. So now over here, look, they're engaging, they're trying to engage, and they're getting right in our face. But I'm able to just ult them off, and that completely disrupts them. And those were the biggest tips that were given to me by people that are challenger coaches for the top teams and everything. And pretty much that's just how you play Braum. If you pretty much master that, you could do wonders with Braum. But that's going to be it. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.